This is my new addition to the garage. It's the MV Agusta F3 800 version, a model that was produced from 2013. This one is a 2015 model. And some of the questions I'm getting, or the question I immediately got when people realised I'd bought this, is why did you buy it when you've already got a Ducati Supersport in pretty well the same colour? And the reason I bought it is because these two bikes, when you stack them together, I admit they look very, very similar, especially when they're the same colour. But the reason I bought it is the riding experience is so dramatically different between the two. So the MV is a real sports track focus kind of bike where you really are having to sit sort of head down, backside in the air, really track focused. It's a real sports bike, whereas the Ducati Supersport is a sports tourer and the riding style is completely different. You can ride the Ducati for hours. You could not ride the MV for hours, or I can't. The other answer to the question of why did I buy it is because it's such a beautiful thing to look at. You can literally sit this in your garage and it turns your garage into an art gallery. It's an absolute thing of beauty, and I love just looking at it in the garage, whether I ride it or not. And that's a good thing because I've had this bike for 5 weeks and been unable to ride it. And the reason is that my insurance company wouldn't insure me until I'd had at least 1 year's riding experience. So that meant I had to wait 5 weeks longer than after I bought it in order to insure it. Why is it on this channel? Because I have had comments that this channel is about sort of bikes that are good for beginners and intermediate riders. And the F3 doesn't seem to be that kind of bike, but actually it is. And this is what amazed me about it. So the seat height on this is only 805mm. So it's easy to get your feet down. When you look at a lot of the modern bikes like the Ducati Panigales, even the new Supersport S, the seat heights are much higher. Some of them going right up to 840mm and you can't get your feet down properly. So that's one thing I would say. The other is the weight of the bike. This thing only weighs 173 kilos, which is phenomenally light. It's a lot lighter than my Ducati Supersport. And the other reason that I think it fits in with my sort of channel and this kind of riding is it's so precise. Being a triple engine, you find that the throttle response is absolutely precise. It's a very smooth, controllable sports bike. So that's why I got it, really. It's something that it's a sport, one of the few sports bikes that I can actually ride and feel like I've got some control over. So having discussed all that, now we come to the exciting bit, because it's the first time today that the insurance has now been validated on the bike. I can now legally take it out and ride it. So let's actually take it out for the first time in my ownership and see what it's like. Reasonably sunny morning, just a nice cool temperature, and I'm a combination of nervous and very excited to be riding my MV Agusta F3 800 for the first time since I bought it over 5 weeks ago. So the videos that I previously published were me test riding this bike, and then when I bought the bike, my insurance company refused to insure me for it until I'd got at least 1 year of experience of riding bikes that I currently own. And I can tell you, the temptation to just flout it and take it out on the road was really difficult to resist. But today, for the first time, the bike is now insured, taxed and ready to ride and fully legal on the road. And I've been looking forward to today for the last 5 weeks. Unfortunately, my enthusiasm of riding some of the beautiful open Cotswold roads was about to be given a reality check. We've got a traffic jam already on what is a real main road. I cannot believe yet again I've come to try and ride this bike and enjoy it and got stuck in traffic just like I did when I first rode it. Oh. This is my first chance to get out on this bike and we have a massive traffic jam. I was keen to get out on the F3 and have a good ride out, but it just felt like I was just kicking the can down the road. I'm just walking this thing downhill at the moment. My God, look at this. This is chaos. Absolute chaos. We've got workmen on this side who have broken down by the looks of it, combined with a tractor on the other side, combined with more workmen at the front. Unbelievable. Absolute chaos. Here we are. This is the cause of the chaos, this tractor. So he's going to go along at literally walking speed and there's no one to control the passing of the traffic. So what you've got now is a big queue of traffic. No one can get past this tractor who's going at walking speed. No traffic control, nothing. I'm having to stay right back here because he's flicking up. The problem is with this tractor, it's flicking up stones at high speed. Well, that's made my bike completely ruined. As I was stood behind that tractor, I literally felt a stone flick up and hit me in the visor. Anyway, finally, we are free. Thank goodness. This is definitely a different bike, completely different from the Ducati Supersport. You would think that given that I had to wait to insure it because they wouldn't insure me until I got a year's riding experience, that therefore it would be very expensive to insure. But here's the irony of this. The insurance quote for this is cheaper than my Ducati, even though when I took the insurance on the Ducati I hadn't had any riding experience at all. We might just get some clear run. Sadly, my hopes for a clear run were about to be dashed again. And here we have a person in a smart car doing a nice steady 35 miles an hour on a national speed limit road with no traffic in front of him. But this is where we have to exercise patience, folks. Cannot believe how many traffic lights there are at the moment with people doing roadworks but no one actually around. But I'm used to this. on this bike. In fact, let's be honest here, when I test rode this bike, this is the sort of chaos I experienced. Having had no hope of opening the bike up on the A roads, I decided the best chance to really get it open would be to take a dual carriageway. The chance to do here is take this thing down a dual carriageway. So we can open it up a little bit, this should be fun. Yeah, and even on a dual carriageway, what do we see? A great big skip trailer in the outer lane, in the fast lane, blocking the whole road. It was at this point that I decided the best course of action would be to go home, but I'd not given up. Just had a bit of a complaint there from the neighbours. It's a tad loud. Time to apologise to the neighbours again. Hopefully this time the roads will be clear. Far less traffic on the road this time. Yes, the sun is still out. The weather's cool. Perfect temperature. That's how far you've got to push it. I think you could ride this bike in pretty well first gear and not need to change on most British roads. I mean, what is this person doing? Look at this. We still have the loonies. He's wobbling about across the road here. He's doing 40 and a 60. Oh dear. I love the way this dashboard glows. We'll see now. Look at this beautiful orange glow as we go into the dark here. Woo, look at that. It's like a little Christmas tree, this bike. Beautiful. Good, he's going off. He's turning off. Excellent. At last! The crazy thing is, just as you're ready to change gear, when you look down at the rev counter, you realise that you're not even halfway up the rev range. It's mental. Just amazing. Well, that was well worth it. A much better ride out.